Shalom. Call Loyam Wakabala Yahweh Bashim Yahushai Bashim Aruchak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great Muslim who tell us this truth who rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to the Holy Lake Tabernacle of David. Now, this is just a quick response. I'm not going to even make this long. I got like two scriptures, that I wanted to, just bring out. And one of them being with this clown, Bishop Melchizedek. All right, he claims that, we're off on Ecclesiasticus Sirach 43, touching on the moon, because he believes that, the new moon starts at a full moon, which is what the IUIC teaches. Well, that's contrary to the scriptures. All right, you don't got it, man. You're not right. All right, you're wise in your own conceit, but you're going off. All right, now I have two translations of Sirach, the 43rd chapter. All right, one of them being the RSV. Hold on, let me refresh this real quick. This is the Revised Standard Version. All right, Sirach 43, and going into the splendor of the moon. He says that, the apostles, we all, the elders, great millstone, we're going off. All right. When it comes to Sirach, the 43rd chapter, which really proves against their understanding. It actually contradicts their argument. All right. That's why I want to read it in these other translations. All right. This is Sirach 43 in the RSV. It says, he made the moon also to serve in its season, to mark the times and to be an everlasting sign. From the moon comes the sign for feast days. And all you got to do is go to Leviticus, the 23rd chapter. And it gives you several high holy days that begin in the middle of the month. And around that time, that's when there's a full moon. All right. So it says, from the moon comes the sign for feast days, because we know that the moon, it means month. You determine the months, by the moon cycles. And on the Passover, it happens to be the 14th day at evening. All right. And then the end going into the 15th day, beginning the unleavened bread, that's in the middle of the month. So during that moment, that's when you're in the middle. So that means you're in the moon is halfway finished. And then, once it gets to its full cycle, it's the fullness, that's when it starts to wane, it starts to decrease. Because it didn't fulfill its course. By the time the moon was full, you already celebrating your feast day. You see? It says a light that wanes when it has reached the full. The month is named for the moon increasing marvelously in its phases. And what are those phases? Those weeks. There's 4 weeks in a moon cycle. The word week means change. So it changes. All right. So that means what? The first week is beginning to increase its light slowly but surely. And then by the second week, it gets to a half a moon. And then by the end of the second week, it's full. All right. And then after that, coming down into the third week, that's when it starts to decrease. So this translation right here actually is proving you're wrong. The month is named for the moon increasing marvelously in its phases, an instrument of the host on high, shining forth in the firmament of heaven. All right. So let's go from there. Let's go to the other one. All right. So Sirach 43. And this is in the Common English Bible translation. This is verse 6. It says, the moon stands at its proper time, a notification of times and an everlasting sign. The sign is for feasts, comes from the moon, a luminous body that wanes when it completes its course. Like I mentioned. All right, after the second week, you already then celebrated the feast day. Now is waning. It decreases back to when it has no light, and that begins the new moon cycle. All right, like it's been refreshed. It says the new moon shares the character of his name, increasing wonderfully as it changes, as it goes through its weeks. A signal on high for armies shining in the vault of the sky. Now let's go from there and let's get the one in Psalms 81 verse 3. And this is what IUIC used to say that this is talking about the new moon being a full moon, right? Psalms 81 and 3 says, blow up the trumpet in the new moon in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. So it'll say, see, look, new moon in the appointed time on our solemn feast day. So, because we know new moon, when it's a new moon, that means it's the beginning of the month, in which, we were to, blow the trumpet, like the memorial of the blowing of the trumpet. You blow the trumpet, right? Well, on the new moon, you're also supposed to, blow the trumpet, right? It says, in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. Now, you look up in the time appointed, this is where, you're reading the definition that is talking about a full moon, right? And the word is kasa, and it says apparently from H3680, properly fullness or the full moon, i.e. its festival, appointed festival, full moon, right? So they'll say, see, the new moon is a full moon, but they read it wrong, because what they're stumbling over is the fact that you read right after it says new moon, there's a comma there, and then it just it continues as if it's basically basically aligning the two subjects, new moon in a time appointed. So they're gonna say that, oh, this is this whole verse is going into a full moon. Now, when you read the other translations, it actually tells you what it's actually saying. I'll read the NLT. It says, blow the ram's horn at new moon and again at full moon. So that's two different times in the month, because you were to do it in the beginning of your month and you did it in the middle of the month during the feast days. Okay. NIV, it says, sound the ram's horn at the new moon, and when the moon is full on the day of our festival. So that's an addition. So that's two different occasions. But because you read it straight through, just because it's separated by a comma, you think it's all talking about one day. All right. Blow the trumpet, ESV. Blow the trumpet at the new moon, at the full moon on our feast day. And this translation got it wrong. All right. The new moon is not a full moon. Okay. CSB, blow the horn on the day of our feast during the new moon and during the full moon. So what we do know is that the Passover is not in the beginning of the month. It's in the middle of the month. All right. So therefore, you blew the trumpet the beginning of that month on the first day. That was the new moon. And then on the 14th day at evening, going into the 15th, you blew the trumpet. And you was bringing in the Shabbat as well. All right. So that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, I want to be, real quick, but you know, this guy, he thinks he's right, but you off. All right, you stand to be corrected. But you know, anyway, yeah, I just want to you know, do that real quick. Lord willing, this was edifying. Call Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. Until the next video, Shalom.